Hello, wanderers of the internet. It's PaleoJohnathan, and welcome back to the Burrows town build. Now with a dinosaur park, without any dinosaurs. With those guys over there, we'll see. We'll get to them later. They're a bit of a secret, though, as you may have seen clickbaited in the title. So let's get down to the tour. The very first thing you might notice is that the very opening of the town, they have an advertisement and a dinosaur statue. And that's for important reasons, and that's because the town of Burrows is absolutely in a dinosaur fever. And that is on account of what happened with that fossil dig site that I showed off last episode. As I mentioned, this park is chronological, where each new episode is, in addition to just being a new build, it also is its own space and time. It's not incomplete right now. This is a complete build, but I will add more, as if it had kept progressing forward, basically. The intention was to make, little easy, bite-sized videos about each one, but, no, each one is going to be, a full park-sized project, it seems, because this one certainly was. So as I slowly get down here, here we have, off of, the main street heading through town, we have a the gate, and a couple of statues welcoming guests into Jurassic Park. So with the last episode, I mentioned Hammond, and now we have Jurassic Park. The idea is it's kind of like a re-scrambled alternate universe version. Of course, it's mostly just because there's Jurassic Park branding on everything, so I have to have it be Jurassic Park. But I think it's cool. So, of course, we have the parking lot here with two brachiosauruses welcoming our guests in. We have, little spots where you'd buy your tickets. A nice little garden out front heading into... Oh, can't get through there for some reason. Oh, yeah, it's because I have an invisible fence there for guests not to walk on it. But I didn't end up having guests in the parking lot anyways. So, yes, this is the parking lot. I really like these cool, pavilions. They feel a lot like a zoo parking lot. I'm probably going to use it for all of them because there are other ways to make a convincing parking lot at this size, but this is much easier. Of course, there's also an exit because, you don't want people, you gotta have separate exits with all the traffic that would be coming through. So over here off to the side, cutting through this hill, there's an exit that, the gate would raise up for them. So, yes, heading through the parking lot, the first thing that would have been built, and back then it wouldn't have been as large a scale in, the timeline of this park, would be this building and what's behind it. And eagle-eyed viewers may notice, hey, this is where the dig site was. Why is it here? And hey, why is all there this tropical stuff? This is a taiga map. We'll get to this in time, my friends. Trust me. But through here we have a bit of a I don't know, a welcome building. One of those nice. It's a nice building. I imagine they'd have science informational things going on here. There'd be a whole lot of stuff. This nice. It's a nice building. It's meant to be nice. And if you were to head up those stairs and through, there's also wheelchair access up around through here. Trust. I keep track of this stuff. Okay. If we head through here, we have the dig site from before, now completely excavated. And I took inspiration from, I think, don't crucify me if I get this wrong, but I think Dinosaur National Monument in Utah, I believe, is what it's called. But, I've seen it a lot online, and it's just, I found it really cool. And I thought, hey, I can make that in this game. So I did that. It's a whole wall of dinosaur fossils, of course, covered up from the elements and such. And there's this, whole, nice plaza here because... the idea is that this is a quite popular attraction. On account of it sure looks like it is, ain't it? Look at all these people I've placed individually. I'm going to delete some of them after this video to save up space for scenery, but, it looks nice. There's also the first couple statues that would have been built. As you might know from the title, there is a statue park incoming eventually. And they're on, nice little fountains. There's the science buildings off to the side. Now, these will be very important later, but basically, they'd be the people that would be studying these fossils. But, additionally, the idea is that, Hammond would be funding them for other projects. So, other than the fact that this looks quite nice. Oh, yeah, it also has a path over to Hammond's house on account of it was in his backyard after all. The other thing worth mentioning is obviously there's a whole lot of tropical plants placed here. And that is something that these labs here were working on. So aside from the fossils, and perhaps more importantly when we get over here, you might be able to see it right now, is they were working on genetics, specifically making things grow fast and survive in a colder climate than they're acclimated to. Now that might sound important to you, with like outsider knowledge, but let's say it kind of like flew under the radar per se, and eventually they created this park heading over here, and this is like when it became like a huge like global attraction. So I took inspiration from, they have places like this usually with like colored dinosaur animatronic statues, not like the marble like stone ones, but they have places like this. You see them all the time if you're like driving through Florida. They have like billboards for them. So I thought, hey, that's a cool thing to build in the game without dinosaurs, and it's like a cool way to like make a timeline, and I think it'll be a cool like artifact once there's a whole big park around it. Is like this is like where it started, and, you know, it's all neat. And they also have river tours, like a zoo near me and a zoo far away from me that I went to had like river tours through like dinosaur statue things. So I thought, hey, that's an incredibly niche thing that, you know, people that grew up on dinosaurs would care about. So let's make it for a video. So I did. Sorry if I'm incoherent. It's just kind of hard to like. I have a lot of ideas for this park, and it's hard to introduce them all. So if we head over this very cool opening over a bridge, over a like water tour, which is a lovely mod. You love to see it. Oh, it's beautiful. We can enter into the dinosaur statue park, Jurassic Park even. And if you look at it from above, it's in the shape, roughly, of Isla Nublar. And that's because in the like parks, like advertising and stuff, like this is the dinosaur island, Isla Nublar. So yeah, that's that. And there's like the whole main street. I might as well get into first person real quick. Just don't look at all the like error messages and stuff while I do that. Of course, the main street is rather bustling, and that's on account of I haven't quite managed to get the guests to go anywhere else in a way that I like. So yeah, they're all here. It's a little more crowded than you'd think. We have a map right here of Isla Nublar, Jurassic Park. We have like a guest building there, toy shop, which if you know, you might be guessing, there is one in the like main street, and the idea would be that Hammond, who was like the owner of this park, owns the toy shop on Main Street, and that's like a second location to advertise both of them. There are bathrooms, of course, gotta have bathrooms. There is a bar and a burger joint, you know, gotta make money, etc., etc. Like a little picture booth, I reckon it would be like a picture from the river cruise tour, which we'll do after we do the walkthrough part, which there is a walkthrough part. Some little food stands. There were also like a hot dog stand and a drink stand there. And the like main innovation center, a lot of like the mods that I have added like a lot of these. So I thought, hey, what, you know, great, I can use all of them for each like the different editions. So this is like, yeah, the first iteration of a visitor innovation center, etc. But aside from that, I say that I ought to walk on the statue path. So get into it. I'm not going to name every dinosaur you pass by. I'm just going to like walk on it and look at them all, and I'm probably going to speed up as well, even if you're going improbably fast. I mean, if you're like a world-class sprinter maybe, but you know, it is what it is. So I used the Scary's Statues mod for this, and I like that mod, but you know, I usually don't have a way to like justify having so much scenery from just a single mod. And this park was a great answer to that. And, oh, obviously I can't go over to the bridge. I'm going to have to cross through the water. And, sorry, I ran into them. But I really liked it. I used just about all of them. So, you know, it's worthwhile that I used. There's that much space in the decorations tab dedicated to it because, you know, I ended up using all of them. Except for the hybrids, of course, because, you know, we don't talk about the hybrids in this household. I raised you all better, didn't I? Yeah, I really like this. It took me a really long time to make it look as it does. Like it takes a lot of like trial and error to get a path that like what I eventually figured out is that you want to have it kind of like wind around to give you like lots of like little pockets that you can show off the dinosaurs in. I think it did turn out great. A lot of it was foliage brushes as well as like careful usage of so there's like a wooden wall on the outside, but I use like hills and full brushes that like hide it up behind it, because you don't want people seeing that, obviously. So up here, up this hill, this is like the verticality part, and it's very cool. This is probably my favorite part. Coming up here, we have Pyroraptor looking all scary there. Sorry, I said I wouldn't name stuff, but look at him. Look at him. He deserves to be named. So yes, up here we have like a hint of what's to come with this big sauropod leaning down, and then we have this. We have like a bridge overlooking this like canyon, and I thought like, hey, sauropods are cool, but it's kind of hard to like understand how big they are. And well, looking at them from the ground is nice. Wouldn't it be even nicer to look at them from up on a giant bridge? So that's what this is, and I really like it. And it goes into this area over here. That's probably my other favorite part, but we'll get to that in time, my friends. Up on the top here, there's a zip line, and I think I should probably take it, because that way I can get back to here as I do the other half of the tour and still do this. So let's take a ride on the zip line real quick to get back. And if you look right over there, you can just see the top of a building that will be very important later. Imagine there's conspiracy theories about seeing that over the horizon. But yes, we went over that quite nice looking lake, and I'll show you this area just through here real quick that was between the bridge and here that we would miss otherwise. So that's that, of course. And now we're back on track to see the rest of the statues. Oh, shoot, weird frame drop there. Love to see it. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we gotta head down this path here real quick to back the other direction from the main street. So you'd be heading from here down this way, or you'd be heading out, obviously. I mean, but I don't choose. It's a path. You walk on it. I don't care. You do whatever. So yes, up here is like it's like a circular area. It's a big carnivore plaza of, not just carnivores, but a lot of impressive statues in one place with like lots of space to stand around it, just so the guests are like pulled to an interesting spot there. And let's see, we have the bridge here as well. I made sure to always have something keeping them from getting into the water. In a lot of cases, it's plants. Gotta go through the water there, because on account I can't walk on the bridge, obviously. I wish I could, but can't. But yes, so that is just about it for the walkthrough, because yes, as we get back up here, we are back at the zipline, which I thought was a cool little addition. It's not like technically related, but it's one of those things that it's also like on those kind of scammy tourist traps. All sorts of them have like zip lines or ropes courses, so that's what that is meant to represent. The next thing, of course, if we would wait in queue for it, is the river cruise, and I'm going to speed up time because you don't have time to be here for all of it, and we're gonna hop on this one. Sorry, we missed that Gallimimus back there, or Archaeornithomimus. But yes, we'll give the river tour a ride as well. It's a lot easier for me because I only have to look around and not walk around and sometimes painfully quickly dash around. So this river cruise is so cool. I love this so much. I'm sorry, not to toot my own horn, but I really love this park. Yes, here we have this beautiful lake that we went over with the zip line. It's probably in the thumbnail as well. And I called on outdated reconstructions of marine life and sauropods in giant pools of water to make it, and I think it turned out quite nice. Look at this Tylosaurus, an old sea monster type thing. Oh, it's lovely. And I love the bridges. The whole river cruise mod is awesome. And they just added this big Mayan update, and I'll have to make something with that. I'll probably theme one of the expansions around a jungle of sorts. We got the Archelon over there, all nice. The reason I mentioned that is because I wanted to bring up the aquatics and the flyers are on poles to represent them swimming and flying. I made ferns in the water as a calling card of something that's marine. I thought that was cool. I kind of checks out. You get what I'm getting at. You get the vibe at least. Yeah, I mean, look at this. It looks like using the like expanded brushes mod. It looks more like a jungle here on this map than you could ever get in the base game, just because it's like open and not like full of plants until I wanted to be to hide the wall. But you know, it's a realistic proper jungle. This is what an actual jungle looks like if you've ever been in one or just seen pictures of one. The ones in the game are basically just blobs of trees, not just metaphorically but literally, because to reduce lag they literally have like a pop-up, or maybe just to make the forest look fuller. I don't know if it reduces lag. They literally have like a pop-up inside of the forests. That's like a square of green tree material. And I think this mod removes that as well, of course. And we're getting towards the end of the river tour here, and the lights are turning on as I perfectly planned it out with the time to do. Got quite close to that tree. Probably needs a trimming. I'll get the park keeper on that, of course. Reminder that this is going faster than it would actually go, because this is quite breakneck. And that's the end of the tour. There's a straight line here where they'd be waiting in queues to get off the ride. So now that it's nighttime and we've toured just about the entire park, it's about time that I get to that, I don't know what I called it in the title, but probably like secret mammoth cloning project, you know, which isn't entirely untrue, but you know, at least it's not the mammoths you'd expect. I think there's a mod in the works for that, but, you know, mammoths are hard, they're woolly and stuff. So we had the Colombian mammoth mod, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen before. It's pretty iconic for this game and the first game. So yes, as I mentioned earlier, they like genetic modification to create a jungle here. But in top secret, behind the scenes, due to government deals and ethical concerns and worries about them escaping, preparing for their grand arrival alongside other Cenozoic creatures, we have a secret facility creating and studying the Colombian mammoth. So yes, the next expansion will be a full-on Cenozoic park with a whole bunch of rather neat modded creatures. And then we'll get into typical dinosaur business, you know. But I might as well show you around. Probably can... Should I go into first person? Nah, I like a bit of variety in my tours. We'll go into spectator mode for this. So we have parking, of course. Can't have a realistic park without parking. Gotta love cars. They're everywhere. So yeah, this is like right on the opposite side from here with like just a fence between it. The idea being is that like obviously the scientists are working like right here. They need to be close to it. And I like to like, you know, make a story for it that there's like a lot of conspiracy theories around this, and it's a not very well hidden secret in the town. Like as mentioned, from the top of the zip line, you can see the top of this building over here. And of course you could probably, you know, hear elephants. So obviously you'd be hearing mammoths, of course. We have a couple, like, more hidden science buildings that are, like, you know, I like this building a lot. I just struggle to find uses for it because, you know, it looks a little too nice to be in, like, backstage, and it looks a little bit too, like, utilitarian to be, like, used in a park. So I think it works great for this as, like, the centerpiece of a, like, scientist campus. So yeah, heading this way, I mean, I don't need to name everything. You've seen the game long enough to know what it all means. We have a Jurassic Park themed helicopter, of course. Gotta have the branding on everything. And then heading over this way before we get to the actual enclosure and the mammoths. I'll just do one last, the last little bit is on the back side of this. It's actually a hatchery that I like to imagine it was like the greenhouse where they first discovered all like the plant stuff. Because we don't have that cool greenhouse building from the first game in this one yet. It's the best we can do. And here we have a like garden where they are growing and testing the trees and new trees, etc. Just to make sure that they can like control them, that they're growing well, that they're growing quickly. Yes, this is all like a really complicated way of getting to the baseline from the normal game. But I think it adds a bit more flair to it. That, oh yeah, they started as a genetics company, like working with the government in secret. In the backstage, like, with making, like, plants, and, like, you know, the idea being is, oh, like, they're trading with the government, they get to work on de-extinction, and they get funding if they work on this, like, obviously, like, very important crop research stuff. So, onto the stuff that, finally, we have an extinct creature in the game about making parks of extinct creatures, and we have an exhibit that looks unlike basically anything in the base game, because there are so many brushes used in it. But I think it looks really neat as like an American like open plains type thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just the wooden fences that are clouding my judgment, but it looks nice, I think. When parks usually in this game struggle to look nice if they're not heavily forested. We have a like viewing gallery, of course, as well as a fence up here that you could like stand on to feed them more, stuff like that. We have plenty of open space, as would benefit a Columbian mammoth. I looked on the Wikipedia page. Look at that. That's insane levels of research. We have this nice little pond. It looks good. I don't know. It looks good. I don't know how. Is it weird for me to say that about my own stuff? I don't know. But this pond, it looks nice. It looks better than the usual water puddles I make. Here we have the like Kenner Toy Command Center from one of the mods. And I thought it looked cool. And I needed something tall to be seen from the zipline, because I really liked that detail of like people on the zipline conspiring about it. So this is the one we went with. I like to imagine this is like where they take investors to like woo them over. They like blindfold them, take them up here, and boom! Aren't those just elephants? No, they're special elephants. They're mammoths even. Over here we have like a gate to the even like further backstage. Of course, this is all like a backstage, not even intended to have a front stage area. But we have a further back area with the aptly named Pachyderm patio from the novel with like he made the mini elephant first. That's why I had to make elephants first. It's a little reference. See, look at how smart I am with my Jurassic Park alternate universe. There's an elephant statue hidden under the ground here. Just want to accurately represent the model course. But with all that description, the idea being is that this would be their like they go here to get out of the snow and rain and stuff. They have those in real zoos, so gotta have them in my ultra realism zoo. I'll have it for all the animals. Not all of them, but most of them will have a backstage area where they'd get out of the weather. Over here we have a little area where they like take him into, I don't know, clean him or give shots or stuff. They lead it in. It's the raptor paddock scenery. Used it over there as well. And yeah, that's about it. This path just leads back over to here. Aside from that, oh yeah, I probably should show off. There's a whole like perimeter fence with a lot of cameras going around here. Obviously, it needs to be rather high security. Woods like this, you'd have people hunting deer in them, and you can't have them coming upon your top secret government-funded mammoth cloning project. So, of course, it's all fenced off, as well as like the whole artificial jungle is fenced off. Sorry if I didn't give that enough description, but I thought it was pretty self-evident with how I described their genetics program. So yeah, that's basically it. As I said, like, the intention was for this to be, like, a really quick, like, I'd make, like, one build and then show it off. This is, like, a whole, like, park's worth of, like, size and detail, especially on this. This took a whole lot of time. This also took time, but, not as much. It's really only one exhibit. Not even an exhibit, but, it's only one enclosure. But, yeah, next thing will be a, like, whole Cenozoic park. I won't spoil any more than that. And I'll see you then, I guess. Bye-bye!